Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's Hazel and it's day 19 of the 100-day project. This is going to be another one of those show and tell type videos that hopefully provoke your thinking and sort of poke at your memory and encourage you to look within your own home to find some of the things that you've already bought and paid for, probably have stored for days, months, years, and maybe now are prepared to look at with a new eye to see if and how they can be incorporated into whatever projects you're currently working on. So in recent videos, I've been talking about the big switcheroo that I'm doing here in my studio space with moving this antique table downstairs and moving an equally old 8-drawer, well, I call it a dresser, but actually it was a store fixture in the town that I live near. And we used it in our store for, almost 16 years. And prior to that, it had life in a general store. And it's really, solidly built, blah, 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 heavy. And I'm just in the process of kind of rearranging what I'm putting where. Anyway, all of that to say that I've now been looking harder and finding things I forgot I had in my basement studio space. So I pulled together and brought up upstairs the things that I need to look at again. And I'll just quickly show them to you. It's a real mixed bag and, well, let's begin. This is some sort of, who doesn't love these little boxes that nest into the cover? Usually we use them for sorting purposes, divide up drawer space or whatever. I don't know where I got it from, but this one apparently sold garters in there. So I don't know if they would have been those sleeve ones that men used to use to keep their sleeves out of the, kind of above the elbow, elasticy things. Incidentally, I have a couple of those that I've worn as bracelets. Anyway, so this cute little box is now up here, and let's hope I find a use for it. This is clearly a thrift store find of some kind. It had those, well, I don't want to say Chinese because or maybe they are Chinese. Those brushes that are traditionally used for calligraphy. So I obviously took the brushes out, and then they are in one of my caddies for brushes. But this box in itself is really nice. It's fabric covered. It's got these little fancy-dancy closures here, as well as this little label. Again, I brought it up simply because, who knows, maybe in my reorganization, I will need something like this. It's also something that, could even be propped up somewhere as just a decor item because it is different. This one is a wooden box. It's got a cute little, closure on it. Kind of, whoever did this did kind of a poor job of the top coat because I don't know if you can see that, but runs and whatever. I suppose I could try sanding that down and evening it out. But this box is shallow. It's, only, well, probably about an inch deep. But it's, again, there's storage space. It's got a vintagey image on the cover. So, again, it seemed like something that was worth taking a second look at. I love this pattern. This is just a cardboard box, and I know that I bought a stationery set in it. So again, some of these may be too shallow to be really practical, but nevertheless, I have it here and we'll look at it. Now this box is quite big. Let's see if I can quickly measure. So it's about 16 inches long. It's got one of those magnetic closure type things, and it is bigger and it is a bit deeper than what I've shown you. And it too could, it came with gift wrap apparently. I must have bought it empty because none of this looks familiar to me. Anyway, so that too might find a new home, either in a drawer or on some of the shelves in my room. So I also found these. Forgot I had them. Remember when decorating clipboards was the rage? These two are almost 6 inches wide. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 inches tall. And I'm thinking it would be very simple to, and this one is cute. It's, these are masonite. This is actual skinny plywood. It would be very easy to decoupage some, cover them with either digital paper or book page or anything. Give it a coat of, well, I don't like using Mod Podge, so I'd probably give it a coat of matte medium and to protect it and give it a little more oomph. And then just use, I think these two have, the bigger ones have hangers on them, so a person could actually have it hanging on the wall. Really cute, with some important, either reminder type notices or an inspirational image or something of that sort. Because I have started filling my space vertically, just to take advantage of that, I don't have room, excuse me, for a real bona fide, either magnetic board or bulletin board. So, I mean, it would be pretty easy to find space to hang one or both of these. So, and bonus, it would be another way to use up some 12 by 12 paper. So there's that. Oh, maybe while I have my surface kind of free, I also found this. Now, I paid $1.50 for it. Based on the way this packaging looks, I'm thinking that this is pretty old. Now, I don't know why I bought it. I must have thought it was, well, someday I'm going to need that. We know that magnetic sheets are a great way to get our metal dies sort of organized and displayed. So the other day I thought, well, it's high time I pulled this out of this box, flattened it out, and see what I actually have here. So not supposedly, it is a 1 foot by 2 foot thing. So we know how tightly coiled things sometimes don't really want to unroll. Well, I don't know if you can see this, but as I was taking it out of the box, it started cracking and separating. Let's see. Maybe this is meant to. Oh yeah, it's got a peel off backing. Okay, draw, cut, peel, apply, and seal. Well, that's obviously not what I would want to do with them. So I would keep the backing on. See, this corner broke out here. There's another owie here. No, I don't have a die within reach, but I hope this is not so thin that it actually doesn't do any good. I'd have to test that before here's another crack. I guess the jury is still out on this one. If I find that it's sufficiently strong that it would actually hold something, then I would go about backing it, probably with some cardstock or thin cardboard or something. And then I don't know, maybe cut it in half or cut it in quarters or something like that so that I can use it for sorting dies. Sheet magnets are really expensive. So if I can salvage that, I will consider it a score. If I can't, then I guess that was not so clever a purchase. I also have a lot of fabric, in various places in my studio and upstairs in the house here. In one of the closets, one of those surplus type closets where it's not a go-to every day, I have one of those, those hanging, those organizational things that you can either get them in shoe sizes or bigger, like for sweaters or whatever, that you Velcro over the clothing rod, and then you've got those different compartments. So I have, I think it's this, anyway, it doesn't matter. I have one or two of those in one of the closets, and I've folded the fabric to make it fit. I have boxes and bins and drawers, and I have way too much fabric. And I need to reconcile and organize that better at some point. And job one, I also need to start using it more, more deliberately. Anyway, when we had our store, one of my favorite jobs was doing, we had two big windows, storefront windows, so changing the window displays was always a pleasure, and allowed creativity to flow, as well as little in-store vignettes when you're trying to sell some merchandise or bring attention to new product or whatever. So I had all kinds of fabric, back from those days. And something like this, I mean, it's, as you can see, it's a metallic looking thing. It, by the looks of it, it frays quite a bit. A lot of those fabrics that we used for those store purposes for merchandising were very drapey, because that is sort of what you want. Like if you were suspending some fabric from the ceiling, you want it to flow and drape and puddle. So not necessarily the best stuff for what we use fabric for. But I'm thinking that this, again, because we use such small bits of fabric, and either for embellishing or a little pop of color or clusters or fabric flips or whatever, I brought this up just as a reminder, number one, that I have it, and number two, I should either begin using it, or I need to put fabric bundles together, or I need to do something, because certainly this stuff is not, it's not going to go away unless I make something happen with it. So there's that. Another thing I found, and I don't know if you can tell this by looking at it, but this is a cushion cover. This might have been a home ec project like 100 years ago when I was in school. It is huck weaving. So if you know anything about this, or maybe had to do it when you were in school, this fabric, or at least what I remember it being called, was huck toweling. So typically it would be white, but this is kind of this, medium gray, or, sort of a gray color. And can I do something without snagging anything? The trick here is that each of these, the fabric is a series of these little tiny loops. So I must have been going through my black and white phase. And because of the geometry of the way those threads are, you could very easily pick a design and, make it happen. So each one of these, so here are some long ones that obviously jumped over maybe 2 rows of the others. See how, I don't know what you can see, but am I holding it in the right place? That would help. Here, like on the back side, I showed you one thread. Well, on the front side, there are those 2 little threads. So those little threads become part of the design. Anyway, this isn't a lesson on huck weaving. But it is a reminder, 15.5 by 12. Oh, can you see where I'm going with this? Now, mind you, it might be a bit, how is the edge? Okay, that's a salvage edge. What is happening over here? So that obviously can fray. So what I think I'm going to do, because obviously I haven't used it as a cushion cover for ages and I'm not in my black and white phase anymore, is take this apart, see what I'm working with, but couldn't, that makes sort of a cute little cover, handmade, with tender loving care, blood, sweat, and tears. You know, basically 2 journal covers. And if that, I would think, no, I'm just thinking on the fly here, once I get this apart, in order to prevent this whole thing from coming apart, probably the smartest thing to do would be to sew around the perimeter of the shape, whatever size and shape that is, sew around the perimeter of that to prevent any unraveling or fraying. If there's going to be any unraveling done here at the Hazel and Aka Design Studio, it should be the owner-operator, not the fabric. So there's that. That is another bit of... I like to... And I know you guys must wonder, does that woman ever sleep? This sort of seam ripper, taking stuff apart kind of thing is another one of those things that I like to do when I've kind of packed it in for the night and I'm just ending the day with some YouTube or Netflix viewing. So this is something that, you know, you can do anywhere. You can do it in a moving car. You can do it on your lap in bed. Yeah. This, okay, maybe I'll show you this weird stuff first. I, at one time, well, let's do it one by one. Don't ask me why I have these extra large eyelets. This is the sort of thing you'd put on a, you know, maybe if you had a fabric banner or something outside decorating your yard. You know, something a little bigger. You could these are 1 inch. They could probably also be on, you know, if a person was had a sign that they wanted to be able to suspend. Heavy duty snap kit. I don't know. Maybe I need to start putting snaps on stuff just to use up some of these items. Now we did in our store, craft flowers framing store that we had, we did have, you know, sewing notions as that. So I don't know if those aren't our price tags. So I don't know where that came from. How about egg cups? I have 3 plastic and 1 ceramic. Not sure why. I know I do have a collection of Ukrainian Easter eggs, pisanka, but because you want to be cognizant of sun fading with most things, I don't think I've ever really displayed individual eggs. But I'm thinking this could also be kind of a cute and compact way to have a few teeny tiny objects available on our craft desks that don't take up a lot of space, and, you know, fill one with bulb pins and maybe another one with a selection of eyelets or postage stamps or whatever. So those things will probably end up at some point staying nearby. These are very shiny split rings. So if I don't know. I guess they should practically be with my jewelry stuff. These are little images that I picked out of frames, because at one point I was doing stuff with mini frames. So these are those, those, I don't know, they could probably be worked into collage. Supposedly this one was from 1911. I mean, that's when the image was from. They are not great quality printing and probably, suffered some fading themselves. But again, use it up. We know that stick pins, those colored ones, typically come in a box like this. So I don't know why I have this pink wire, but that should be someplace else. Bulldog clips, obviously, should be in my desk drawer. I must have put this together. You may or may not know that I have a nickel allergy. So my jewelry is either stainless steel or precious metal. So something like this, even I could wear. Or, more likely, take it apart and use it, in some more journal type way. Sorry for the noise that I'm creating here. Now this, I started, no, I guess I had pre-sorted it. I think there's a lesson to be learned here. I saw an assortment of charms, like a grab bag of charms, and what I should have done, and this is a few years ago, I should have made the store clerk open them up and let me have a look at them. A lot of these things, and I don't even know what this is, to be honest. Oh, maybe that just dangles there. I don't know. They are cheerleader related. So this says cheerleader. This says I heart cheer. A girl with pom-poms. Never been a cheerleader. Not likely to ever become a cheerleader. Don't know any cheerleaders. I don't know. So maybe what I have to do is try to salvage. I don't know what I have to do. Does this come apart? With the right tool, it will. Maybe not. Well, I guess I could cut this black rubbery thing off. Ugh, that flew across the room. So I suppose I could take this apart here and end up with that colored. Get rid of that. Close that back up. Actually, kids, do this with 2 pliers and then you won't struggle as much. Oh! Flies across the room. The ring comes off and you do what you should have done in the first place, which is use 2 pairs of pliers. Why am I making you watch this? Tell me that. Okay, so typically, more correctly, you would use 2 pliers to bring those 2 ends together and close that. Still not doing it very well here. I'm going to squeeze it a bit that way just to not have it fall off again. Oh, brother, this is one of those demos that is, don't do this. Okay, so there, I could try to do that, or I don't know. So the thing that I learned from there is if you're unsure what something is, ask them to open it up, because even if it seems like a good deal, it is not going to be a good deal if you're buying a cat in a bag and don't and find out that you can't use it after all. Like their problem of getting rid of it now becomes my problem of getting rid of it. So this one I did dump out, and these are the ones that are more like those, what's that brand name? Oh, well, they're not obviously not Pandora beads, but they're that sort of thing where there's a big hole, you'd run a cord through it. These are more interesting. Still probably a bit juvenile for any of my purposes, but there were a few cute ones in here that I found, and these are more likely to get used in some fashion. But again, not if I've forgotten that I own them. So that's the story on that basket. Show you a few more things. I found a bunch of these. I must have had these clips downstairs. They're magnetized, and I can certainly use those up here. Found this little book, 360. So basically, I guess it's 365 days of notes. Absolutely perfectly empty. And so either this is something that should be in my purse, or it should find its way into a journal somewhere. Found this wooden ampersand symbol. Pretty, it's about a 1/4 inch thick. I do have a bit of, I do have some of these. Remember when they were kind of a thing for home decor? I don't know. I need to think about that. Found these little wooden, I guess wooden, tags. So they've got kind of little elasticy things going through them, but certainly I can change that to a fiber of some sort or embroidery floss and use them in some way. This will be second last. This is I obviously have a million of these little bags. In fact, I have a bunch here upstairs already. I forgot about these. So is it not time to start doing something with them? Some of them I would have acquired with my own purchases. So all sorts of sizes. Some of these, I think these, boy, talk about stumbling down memory lane. You know what this is? When my son and his wife got married, and this is a long time ago, my mom and aunt sewed a million little of these favor bags, and I am positive that that is one of them. I don't know, were bags not invented back in the day, or was this just one of those opportunities for relatives to get hands-on and help out in some way? Oh, see, this is Christmas fabric. Shouldn't be here. What is this? See, even some of these should even be in my dresser, so that when a person, I got some stainless steel jewelry in this, obviously. But some of these bags would be great to keep with my luggage, so that when a person is going, bearing, okay, so that's a watch brand. Some of these would be great to put in a suitcase when you want to pack some jewelry and don't want it to take up too much space. Or I didn't know I'd be sorting this here with you. That's elasticized. Not sure what that one came from. That's cotton. Put that together. Well, and then of course there is the classic Crown Royal bottle or bag. I don't know if they still sell those whiskey bottles in these classic purple and gold bags. This is almost more like a felty type thing, but again, a drawstring. And kind of a bigger size. Let's put that together. Some of these, I just love these. This one I think I remember purchasing at the dollar store. I loved it because of the, wouldn't that be kind of nice when I finally get a boho journal done? This could be either taken apart and used that way, you know, as fabric, or more likely kept together just to hold some extras. Oh my God, that would be beautiful. This is some sort of an iridescent type thing. I don't know if you can see it, the sort of, as the light hits it, it's changing in color. Oh, these little kind of, yeah, I need to separate this. These felty, fabric-y type ones. Again, probably good in a travel scenario. Let me make another pile of those. And then, of course, these gauzy ones. Oh, I have two of these. Okay, so two of those. And you can see a variety of sizes. Now that would be a Christmassy one. I should put it with the Christmas stuff. And something that has been imprinted with somebody's design or somebody's, you know, company name or whatever, obviously would be more a storage item than, oh, I remember buying these fabric ones. This is so cute. This is so cute. That's another thing I have in the works, or big plan for anyway, a tree journal. Put those aside. Another one of those velvety bags. Okay. I would think that steaming these would get the creases out of them. That's a cute one, polka dotted. Okay, what's in this one? I don't know why that's there. Oh, look at these cool bags. I didn't know I had them. See the treasures you can find if you look. Couple with hearts on them. This is a taller one. Redkin, so it must have had some sort of a cosmetic or what do they sell? Shampoo or something? Oh, I just love these little things. I have a gazillion, but I love them anyway. When you just need to throw a couple pairs of earrings or something in a bag for a short trip. Okay, I'm not going to do this in front of you. I will find the others that I have elsewhere in this room and do it all once, do it all properly, and know it's dealt with. I'm just wondering too, though, if a person, yeah, I think steaming them would be the best, and then find a way to store them flat so it's not wasted effort to, yeah, I got a few of these. Not wasted effort to straighten them out only to have them get creased again. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to show you, we also in our store carry jewelry supplies. So this one, these are wooden. Three of them are square. This one is round. Okay, so do you remember I think it was called, oh, I've forgotten the brand name. This stuff came in these kind of these sticks almost. Well, not sticks, maybe more like the size and shape of a bookmark. And they were plastic, they were had designs, they were colorful, and you melted them. No, you heated them up, and then you little steel molds to create sort of this plasticky jewelry. Anyway, these say wood jewelry, stain, paint, or leave natural. Embellish with jewels, wood, shapes, fabric, or ribbon, combined with other jewelry connection pieces such as cork and suede. Complete by gluing jewelry connection findings on the back, and you've created your own unique fashion jewelry. Well, obviously I'm not about to make some wooden earrings for myself, but I will take these out of their packaging and add them to my other small wood pieces, knowing that they would be great surfaces for collaging something onto and becoming page decorations. I also have a little Dremel tool with the different bits and so on, where I could actually, mind you, even one of those 1/16 or 1/32 drill bits in a normal drill would easily go through that and could turn this into, part of a dangle, layered up with something else. I think, I hope I don't find something else this minute I turn off the camera, but I think that is all I wanted to show you today. So the point, again, to remind you, was to dig into those boxes and drawers and rooms and places we sometimes stash things for safekeeping, and see what you may have put aside that is so old that it's new again, or your aesthetic and your experience and your skill set have changed to the point where now you think, oh, I know exactly what to do with this. So thank you for joining me with this 100-day challenge. Of course, we've got a long way to go yet, so I will be back here again tomorrow, and I hope you will be too. Happy crafting, guys. Bye.